Hello friends, welcome to episode 5 of Warhammer 40k Rogue Trader. We just recruited our navigator lady Cassia Orsenio, and we are now on our way to our second objective. We need to head to Rykadi Minoris. I think I'm going to go first on Rykadi Philia. Lord Captain, there is some commotion on the officer's deck. The Lady Navigator has left her quarters and is currently in the wardroom, where uninitiated crew members are shunning her in terror. Perhaps you should find out what has brought Cassia to the deck. Alright. I think Rykadi Minoris should be the one of the last locations we visit.
Lord Captain, my apologies. I did not notice your entrance.
I see you are fond of reading.
Oh, this. I found this fascinating read on one of the shelves, and I must say, it has caught my eye. Its every chapter is written in verse. I find it so beautiful and enrapturing. Owlcat 5 had a vast archive of its own, of course. Although most of the works within had to do with scholarly disciplines of some sort or another. Only in my sparse moments of respite was I allowed to escape into the pages of more embellished works.
The events that took place on Owlcat 5 must have shaken you greatly. Are you well?
One should not underestimate the navigators of House Orselio, Lord Captain. Like a shawl of pale smoke, a faint malaise hangs upon my shoulders, but it will not be the slightest hindrance to my duty to humanity, and my duty to you.
Your only attendant is your valet from Owlcat 5. Do my servants not measure up to your standards?
No, it is not that at all, Lord Captain. It is just that Uwe is quite capable of carrying out his duties by himself. He is well accustomed to my whims and preferences.
Perception test succeeded. Cassia cringes ever so slightly, adjusts the adornment on her forehead, and then awkwardly hides her clawed fingers in the folds of her clothes. The unnatural appearance of navigators often becomes the topic of gossip among lowly servants and officers alike. It is unsurprising, then, that Cassia prefers the company of one who is used to how she looks. I hope that you have had ample time to calm yourself and your powers.
There are people on this ship who are far more impulsive and dangerous to others, and far less devoted to the God Emperor than a herald of the Navis nobility.
Right?
But I did not need your words to see the shades of umber unease that whirl around your subjects whenever I am near. Were I not acquainted with such a reaction, I could have found their behavior and your question just now insulting.
So it's Navis Nobilite.
Lord Captain, would you kindly explain to me why you are pestering me with these questions? Inquiring about my mood and my needs, showing an interest in the books I am enjoying. You are behaving as if you possessed a shred of fellow feeling for one such as I. I beg your pardon, Lord Captain. That was no way for a navigator to conduct herself.
You have nothing to apologize for. Human emotions are natural, be they good or bad, and it is just as natural to share them with others.
Please forgive me. I cannot even understand myself right now. Your words and attention have reminded me of life on the station, of Theobald and Felek. I do not understand. They were merely the keepers of Urak 5. So, why do memories of those two make me feel a strange heaviness here? At the same time, I find myself overwhelmed with new excitement and anticipation. At last, I have set foot outside my familiar walls, and into a world that I have only seen before in the pages of books. Your ship alone is a treasure trove of remarkable artifacts and curiosities. And just imagine the things that await beyond, but... My delight must seem childish to you, surely. In your heart, you must be finding all this quite amusing.
I understand what you are going through. My own life was turned upside down not too long ago.
Indeed. I did not know. That is to say, I could not have known, as it is the first time we are speaking in a circumstance so... private. My word, when I found this place, it was so full of officers. Why did they all leave?
Perhaps my people did not wish to disturb you.
Or because my presence offends them. Then I must take my leave as well. I am due to inspect the Sanctum Navis after the communion ritual and prepare the chamber for the upcoming warp jump. Thank you for your company.
Alright. I didn't want to commit. That's why I chose those answers. Okay, I don't think there's anything here to loot. So let's go to the bridge. I think we have a few more companion quests to start. I believe Argenta wanted to talk to me. Let me check. Companion Battle Sisters. Yeah, Battle Sisters personal request. Okay, so Argenta is here.
Rogue trader.
You said you have a personal request for me?
I indeed have a request, Rogue trader. The accursed servants of Chaos who assaulted this ship took the lives of your loyal crew members, and they orphaned many children, including the progeny of the brave officers who defended their posts until the bitter end. I don't know what customary practices there are for cases like this in Von Valancia's territory, but in the world I'm familiar with, the children of such brave souls could expect to receive some special consideration. Perhaps the rogue trader could meet with the orphans?
I will meet with them. No formalities needed. These are the children of people who gave their lives for the Von Valancia's dynasty. My consideration is the least that they deserve.
I will pass on your instructions. Thank you for taking my request to heart.
Oh, right now? Oh yeah, right now. The motley group of adolescents do not take their eyes off you, gazing at you as if you were a creature straight from a fairy tale. Our indefatigable sister has been keeping an eye on these pups. Abelard glances at the gathered children. It is hardly the Schola Progenium in here, but we have provided the orphans on our ship with adequate care and instruction. Argenta is standing to the side of the group. At your approach, she perks up and announces, her voice ringing. Brave ones, the master of this ship has appeared before you, the one who guides it through the darkness of the universe by the Emperor's will. Greet your lord, Captain, the rogue trader of housebound Balancius. You notice Infernus Master Heinrich Montag standing a few paces away from the orphans. He watches you with approval and bows respectfully when you meet his gaze. Your Lord Captain greets you, brave ones. The teenagers keep staring at you. A girl who has remained close to Argenta smiles uncertainly. A skinny pale lad tries to throw his shoulders back and stand at attention like a soldier. Only a few teenagers at the far end of the row seem sullen and not particularly impressed. One of the scowling visitors with a thin scar across his face tosses his head back and says bitterly, "So what? Why should we care? Our friends and parents died in their dozens for you, noble lord. And just give us speeches?" Argenta quickly turns to the boy. A flurry of emotions flashes in her dark eyes. Now she wants both to calm him and scold him for his impudence. If you have things to say them without fear. I will listen. The boy smiles grimly. Doesn't matter what we say, it won't bring our parents back, and it won't change our fates either. We'll keep slaving away on the ship until we drop and die like our folks, or worse. When the heretics who killed your parents attacked the ship, I was there. I took command, I fought, and I repelled the assault as quickly as I could, but no war can be won without losses. You can only strive to do what is within your power. You heard the rogue trader. His words carry the wisdom of the Imperium. It's hard to say whether or not your words have left an impression on the boy, but he nods slowly. Then he catches himself and gives you an awkward bow. Abelard gives a sign, and servants immediately emerge carrying packaged treats with bone balanciers emblazoned on the wrappers. It appears that the seneschal came prepared for any contingency. Nice. Argenta rubs her temple pensively. She smiles and offers a few more words of encouragement, then leaves the bay. Okay, I think that was it. A short intermezzo on the main quest. Alright. Do we have any more? The prison planetoid in the Rykadi system, we have got the interrogator's attention, so we are going to Rykadi Philia. We finished this, alright. Let's not see the quests we already completed. Okay. Let's continue. Lord Captain, sorry to disturb you. Big disposes as if listening to something. It's pandemonium outside the bridge gate. One of the officers seems to be demanding an audience with you in person. I think I hear Master Verserian's voice. In any case, I wanted to warn you in advance. Oh my god. There are so many issues on the ship. I like the throne. The everyday sounds of the bridge are disrupted by voices raised in anger. Abelard's voice the loudest of all. This is not the conduct of an officer. These are the antics of a high-born brat out on a lark. Explain yourself, Lieutenant. Avrila Vent. New quest, Dark Echelons. Deal with the situation regarding Depot 4. The young woman standing before Abelard strives with all her might not to quail under the onslaught of her superior's anger. She falters, but then manages to look him in the eye and say, I apologize, sir, but I must speak to the Lord Captain. Very well, Lieutenant, you may address the Lord Captain, not least because I see you have already seen fit to disturb him. Your unauthorized appearance on the bridge and display of belligerence toward the higher-ranking officer will be logged on your personal file without delay. Lord Captain, Lieutenant Avrila Vent requesting permission to speak. Vent falls silent and then adds rashly, on a matter of extreme importance and urgency. You may speak, but I want to hear a report, not a shouting match. Having two officers bickering in full view of the bridge is unacceptable. I am sorry, Lord Captain. I thought that drastic times called for drastic measures, Vent exclaims hotly. This matter cannot wait. Any minute now, an assault unit will be dispatched to the lower decks on orders to crush the workers' strike by any means necessary. But I am convinced that this step is unwarranted and that the crisis itself was provoked by the actions of one of the senior officers. Vent is almost trembling with tension as she delivers her speech, her face extremely pale. Abelard, in no hurry to intervene, lets out a skeptical huff. He glances at Sourback, who is standing not far from him, but she maintains a stony expression. Lord Captain, I urge you to investigate the actions of Seneschal Warserian and to intervene in what's happening on the lower decks, because very soon we will have a mutiny or a massacre on our hands. Bent reels off the last words as though she knows them by heart. She has clearly been preparing to say them for some time. When she is finished, she casts an anxious glance at Abelard, then at you. Where does Seneschal Warserian come into all this? I shall explain, Abelard intones grimly. I beg you to hurry, time is running out. I will not hurry, since my competence is under scrutiny. I shall speak for as long as I see fit. There is an established order to the way things are done on this ship, and one of the pillars of that system is that the rogue trader's attention is not distracted by trivial matters. It is the Seneschal's role to ensure that. I have always handled internal problems myself, so, of course, when I received information about cultists hiding on the lower decks, I took the matter in hand. So long as I live, not one of the vermin who murdered Theodora von Valancius will find refuge on her ship. You were far too heavy-handed, Seneschal Warserian. Arrests, interrogations, mass punishments for entire sectors. It has driven the people to the brink. Now there is a strike on the lower decks, in Depot 4 to be precise. 3 worker clans are involved, but many more are passively supporting them. The situation could degenerate into an all-out insurrection. But when I reported my concerns, the only response I received was an order to dispatch an assault unit and crush the strike with maximum force. Master at Arms, the ship's enforcers report to you, and yet you seem hesitant to provide your own perspective. Jocasta Sourback. Lord Captain, unlike Lieutenant Vent, I respect the chain of command and realize that it is not within my right to challenge my superiors. Sourback bows her head in Abelard's direction. However, a moment later, a serpentine smile appears on her lips. That being said, while I entirely share Master Warserian's opinion on what fate Depot 4 deserves, I must note that this insubordination is a direct consequence of practices that he himself has introduced. Mr. Sauerback, I see you have decided to follow the lieutenant's example after all. Such behavior does you no credit. Sauerback, explain yourself. The ship's regulations state that the Master at Arms is responsible for resolving all matters related to the ship's enforcers, and yet it is no secret that the Seneschal has a tendency to show partiality. Those enforcers and officers whom he has deemed particularly promising are at times given permission to approach him for tutelage. I cannot deny Master Warsilian's experience and insight. The Seneschal has a record of fostering students who have indeed achieved much and demonstrated impeccable performance. However, extending such patronage over the head of their immediate superior encourages disregard for hierarchy among your lordship's servants. Today, an enforcer goes to the Seneschal to report an order from the Master at Arms that they happen to disagree with. Tomorrow, they will go to the Lord Captain to object to the Seneschal's order. I notice a pattern in these actions. Lieutenant Vent, would you say the Seneschal has singled you out from your peers in any way? Lord Captain, I swear the Seneschal Warsilian has never granted me any privileges, never once advocated for me, nor facilitated my promotions, although he is the man who convinced me to become an officer in the first place. He has offered me extensive guidance in my service, for which I am grateful to him, and while not all my fellows receive such attention, I know of at least a dozen fine officers whom the Seneschal keeps in his sights to ensure that they continue to strive. To prepare new generations of the dynasty servants, to instruct them, and to separate those with potential from those who have exhausted it, that is my duty as Seneschal. This ship has bays worth of pilots, enforcers, officers, technicians, and stewards whom I have raised personally. By the throne, every third person standing on this bridge right now was my student at one point. I see. Evidently, my officers are anything but a shining example of unity and adherence today. I have only myself to blame, I suppose. Abelard, what do you have to say to all this? I see no need to add anything. I acted within the remit of my authority, guided exclusively by the best interest of your protectorate and your personal safety. If you wish to confirm the rectitude of my actions for yourself, I have no objections. For my part, I urge the Lord Captain to go down to the lower deck, stop the assault unit, and speak directly to the people. You will see that they are not lying or harboring heretics. That way you will stop the uprising before it begins. I've heard enough. I will go down to the lower decks and deal with the problem personally. Praise the Emperor. Vent cannot contain her relief. Thank you, Lord Captain. Abelard grits his teeth like an enterprise bordering on the sophomoric, but please yourself, Lord Captain. However, I categorically insist that I escort you. Lord Captain, I regret that the enforcers were unable to handle the situation, which then led to your and the Seneschal's involvement. I consider it my duty to go to depot for myself and see to the expedient resolution of this incident. Okay, we now have 5 party members, all level 6. That's fine. I don't think we're going to fight anyone here. Hey, it's Versailles. Take that, scum. What the hell did you do? Everard reflexively wipes the sweat from his brow in a startling human gesture and a telling one, a rare moment where he allows his aged weariness to show through his armor-like veneer of self-assurance. The lower decks are a source of endless problems. Sometimes I dearly regret that we cannot replace all the locals with servitors. Let's keep moving. We need to get to the bottom of this. Yep.
Let's seize the moment. I still do not see our purpose in coming here.
Relax, old man.
Relax, old man. Okay. Avril Vent. The sounds of a heated discussion reverberate through the ship's base. Lieutenant Avril Vent of the ship's enforcers is barring the path of her superior, Master Sergeant Jocasta Sourback, who has arrived clad in armor. Judging by their expression and tone, the standoff has dragged on for some time already and has now reached boiling point. Lieutenant Vent, my patience is wearing thin. I have given you an order. Now get out of my way. I cannot comply with that order, madam. Vent looks shaken, but there is fire in her eyes. This is my deck and my sector. So long as this area remains under the Lord Captain's special oversight, no action can be taken without my express permission. There are only 3 people who are authorized to make me stand down: the first officer, the rogue trader, and the Emperor himself. So not all my lessons fall on deaf ears. Abelard mutters in crabby approval. He does not clarify whether he means Vent, Sourback looming over her, or both. Your Lordship. Noticing you, the 2 officers snap to attention and salute their subordinates, following suit a moment later. What's the situation? Your Lordship, my people have locked down the bay where the strikers are, including their leaders. We have the situation under control as far as resources allow. Under control, Lieutenant? I came here to lead an investigative unit, and what do I see? The rebel is on the verge of mutiny. There is nothing to investigate. This simply calls for immediate repressions and firing squads, and you, Vent, are a step away for facing charges yourself. We encountered some locals on our way here. Their conduct was outrageous. They even tried to throw things at us. Vent's gaze is full of worry and regret. The people are getting desperate, clearly. They saw the assault unit and they decided they had nothing left to lose. I apologize, Lord Captain. It is outrageous. I'm sure the people simply didn't recognize you. It wouldn't have occurred otherwise. We will deal with them once the current situation is resolved. I want to speak to the strikers. Abelard's mouth twists, but he restrains himself and says nothing. Right you are, Lord Captain. Allow me to wish you good luck. Hope gleams in Lieutenant Vent's eyes. Okay.
Marching ahead.
Let's kill everyone. A dozen pairs of eyes stare apprehensively at you. The people before you are typical inhabitants of the lower decks. You take in their simple clothing, crude weapons, and faces that display varying levels of mutation, from the barely discernible to the strange to the outright grotesque. Rivet. A whisper passes through the crowd and you detect a mixture of fear, astonishment, and joy in their reactions. Finally, 3 people break away from the crowd, an elderly woman and 2 men. These must be the leaders. They bow clumsily before you. Lord Captain, you have come down to us. Tell me what is troubling you. Why are you striking? Striking? That's news to us, your lordship, says a tall, thin man in worker's garb. All we're doing is asking questions, saying what we think. Shut up, Rivet, snaps the old woman, who turns her hostile dark eyes on you. Here is the deal, your lordship. Your damn enforcers are all over us down here. They say they're looking for cultists. One wrong word and they're reaching for their batons. If they want to punish someone, they turn off the heating the whole base for a week at a time, so we get sick and freeze. In my clan, 2 little ones died from inflammation in their lungs, all because of those enforcers. The old woman spits on the floor and rubs at the spittle with the toe of her worn-out shoe. Argenta does not interrupt the workers, but you see the sadness well in her eyes when the children's deaths are mentioned. She quietly whispers a requiem prayer and makes a sign over herself. It's all true. Vent is the only enforcer officer who stood up for us. It's clear as day who had a mother from the lower decks and who grew up amidships and has no fellow feeling toward us. The green man with a scarred face throws up his arms. Your lordship, with no villains here, we're honest workers, your servants. We've plotted no disorder, we went on strike openly, and now we got guns pointed at us. All we're doing is asking to be allowed to work in peace without being harassed. The persecution started apropos of nothing, you say? I was told that one of you was found in possession of a cultist amulet and that there are heretics hiding here. A cultist amulet? What's that? The jugo they found on the dead drunkard? If it was something evil or forbidden, we sure didn't know. The enforcers just said they were looking for heretics among us and anyone obstructing their investigation would be punished. But how could there be heretics here? We know our own people. There have been no new faces around. Definitely not. And if there were, we'd be the first to report them. And as for this amulet or whatever it is, they took it off a dead body. There are no cultists still breathing in our sector, that's for sure. But when that fight broke out, some enterprising folks looted the bodies. The boots they came back with, nobody's ever tread these decks in boots so fine, I can tell you that. Seems to me these cultists have better commanders than us. Oh yeah, those boots really were fine, and there was no harm in taking them, right? As for the amulet, it must have been pocketed by someone who didn't know any better. We don't need any amulets around here. We all worship the Emperor, and when we're working, we bow down before the machine spirits of the large and small transformers and the servo motor. The same way my grandfather was taught 100 years ago by a tech priest who came calling. Believe us, your lordship, we are people of faith. Naive children, weren't you taught from an early age about the dangers of the arch-enemy's creations? Weren't you warned that any unfamiliar object could be one of them? We were told, Holy Sister, but it was long ago. The last time we saw a confessor in our sector, it was just after I had my third little one. That is regrettable, but you cannot lay the burden of leading a righteous life on the shoulders of the Holy Fathers. Who will you blame when beasts crawl out of those amulets you stole from the heretics? The Holy Father who was not there, or the scavenger who brought evil down on himself and his neighbors? What changes do you want? Would you look at this? The exalted Lord Captain himself is asking us, bilge rats, what we want. Well, here is what. We want you to rein in your damn enforcers, to quit turning off the heat, and to stop battering everything that moves. No, that's not it. We want the enforcers gone from here. We want to be armed. Give us arms, and we'll govern ourselves, we'll defend ourselves if these cultists do show their faces. I've been leader of my clan for 20 years now. Getting rid of this club-wielding thugs can only improve things around here. We've gone too far, old Dan. They'll never let the maggots on the lower decks leave without the enforcers breathing down their necks. They probably even insist on enforcers on the upper decks too. As for weapons, what do we need them for? Before the first day is out, we'll have someone shooting their neighbor out of stupidity or drunkenness. We don't need that. If the enforcers stop hassling us, that'll be enough. In return, we'll find the scavengers who robbed the cultist bodies and we'll talk to them, one lower deck to another. If there are any more of those damned amulets about, we'll hand them over to the enforcers ourselves. You speak for yourself and your clan, and I'll speak for me and mine. I don't want empty gestures, I want real change. They'll promise us the world now, but as soon as the Anointed One turns his back, these brutes will be on us even harder than before, all because we dared to speak out. The tall worker's eyes dart between the two arguing leaders. Every few seconds he opens his mouth as if planning to agree, but each time he falls silent, simply making a few vague noises of approval. Spreading anarchy on the ship is the first step toward embracing chaos. Putting weapons into untrained hands would be even worse. What's more, the enforcers are needed to maintain oversight and order. Withdraw those demands, we will consider the rest. Coercion test succeeded. Nice. The tall worker they call Rebad shrugs and casts a sidelong look at the old woman. Old man, listen. Listen, the Lord Captain himself has come down to us and is offering concessions. And I don't know a single person in the whole of Depot 4 who's ever stood next to the rogue trader, let alone talk to them. Back down. Now's no time for you to be a stubborn old crone. Listen to us, old man. The three clans of Depot 4 ought to act as one. We've made our minds up. It's your turn to decide. Don't ask them to disband the enforcers or give us weapons. We don't need any of that. The old woman hisses in dissatisfaction. You two are ganging up on me, is that it? So brave you are against an old woman. But I'll shut up. I will indeed. I won't go against two clan leaders on my own. If you want to make peace with the enforcers, make your peace. That's great, just fantastic. Lord Captain, we'd all agreed. Then it's decided. The persecution will stop and I will expect you to assist in locating any remaining amulets or weapons left by the cultists. Your lordship, thank you. You have not abandoned us lower decks. You came yourself and settled everything. I'll tell my grandchildren about this. Of course, your lordship. We'll root out any nasty business faster than the enforcers and we'll leave no stone unturned. Whew.
Venture forth.
All right. We successfully quenched the mutiny. Stopping unexpectedly, Abelard imperiously dismisses the unit to stand at a distance and addresses your other companions, saying, I have an urgent matter to discuss with the Lord Captain. Please give us a moment. Abelard looks at you and his last vestiges of restraint vanish. Well, are you pleased with your investigation, Lord Captain? You called out to the disloyal rebel. You believe their lies and show them leniency. Next time the ship is attacked by cultists, that rebel will welcome them with open arms and allow them to wreak whatever havoc they like, because they see you as a weak leader. Is that how you see a future at the helm of the Von Valancia's Protectorate? Let's talk about your role in all this instead. You allowed this revolt to happen. Your actions practically guaranteed it would. I would have handled the situation myself had you not decided to intervene, Abelard says irascibly. Remember Lord Captain Theodora. Do you think she ever set one slippered foot on the lower decks? No, she did not. Such matters were left to myself and the junior officers while she dedicated herself to her grand designs for the Protectorate, as any true strategist and rogue trader ought. I would be only too willing to trust in my seneschal and not fill my head with such matters, but the situation has spiraled out of your control, Abelard. Abelard's face relaxes slightly. You're right, at least as concerns junior officers making complaints directly to you. And Abelard stands straight at attention. I lost my temper, Lord Captain. I believe I ought to explain myself. Abelard speaks slowly, the words not coming easily to him. The prosperity of the Von Valancia's Protectorate is not just an empty phrase to me. I left the Imperial Navy for the chance to see it flourish. It was the most momentous decision of my life. I did it because I saw in Lord Captain Theodora's deeds the sign of true greatness. Rogue traders do not simply forge new routes and capture worlds. They create order out of anarchy. That creative impulse was entirely lacking during my time in the military. So I left behind everything I had known, everything my family had known. I come from a long line of officers and I embarked upon this incredibly reckless venture. Lord Captain Theodora entrusted me with all the concerns she had no time for. She would go off on her flagship for long periods, to distant frontiers on scouting voyages, and the advancement of the entire protectorate rested on my shoulders. And then suddenly everything that had been built over years and years began to quake, rattling like a flimsy hangar on a seismically active world. One of the senior officers betrayed us all. The rogue trader was killed, and who knows what is happening on the planets. I tell you this honestly, without fear of appearing weak. All this has come as a grievous blow to me. I am not panicking or grieving because I cannot allow myself to panic or grieve. I am duty-bound to aid the new rogue trader, to aid you, to find your footing as quickly as possible, and to do that I must insulate you from problems that in the past have been dealt with by tried and tested procedures set out in the ship's regulations, procedures that were established long ago and have functioned smoothly for decades cannot suddenly be deemed excess to requirements. I understand, but you need to learn how to respect me as your Lord Captain and Rogue Trader. Accept it and start living in the new world, a world where Theodora is gone and where you and I have new decisions to make. Abelard solemnly inclines his head. Yes, Lord Captain. After a moment's silence, he adds, looking at you with interest. Your resolve is admirable and demonstrates strong leadership. I shall remember this moment, should my old habits ever begin to creep back in. And now, please, let us leave the lower decks. If the rogue trader desires to stretch his legs, there are far more suitable places. Yep. Okay. We completed another quest. I don't think we gained too much experience, but we lost a lot of time. Oh, we only need 300 experience points to reach level 7, which is great. Are we going to start this quest in this episode or not? Rykadi, Philia added to the words of the Expanse. Alright. Let's go. The prison planetoid. Rykadi, Philia. Okay, I wanna use another formation. Maybe this one. That's it. Got some goods.
We should deal with this.
What? Oh, there's a trap here. Come in, escort. This is Captain Vicari. Escort, please, come in. Pilot Rockwell, the pale young woman looks at you with a mixture of hope and disbelief swirling in her eyes. You notice her hands trembling as she clutches her weapon. Who are you? Did you come from the planet? Are you reinforcements? Saint Steve, I thought you'd never come. I am road trader Cornelius von Valancius. Now introduce yourself. At once, Captain Rockwell Beccari, servant of House Winterscale and the pilot of the shuttle. It is an honor to be greeting His Lordship von Valancius. What happened here? There's been a prison riot on the planetoid. Sadly, it is being led by the prison warden himself, the Honorable Anatagon Castilia. He has allied himself with a rebel that he himself was supposed to watch and declared Rykadi Philia to be independent of the authority of the system's lawful governor. I came here as a shuttle pilot alongside the Honorable Yvain Winterscale, son of Caligos Winterscale, rogue trader, vanquisher of xenos, forever triumphant over the enemies of humanity. Young Lord Winterscale wished to speak to the warden personally so he could put an end to his lawless treason. He and his escort went ahead, and I haven't been able to contact them over Vox for a very long time. You are late to arrival, Rykadi Philia. Okay. So, if we landed here before recruiting Cassia, maybe events would unfold differently. The Chosen Ones, new quest. Find Yvain Winterscale. Yvain, Abelard muttered, stroking his beard. One of his distant younger offspring, yes. That's as much as I know about him, which means he hasn't distinguished himself in any meaningful way. Yvain Winterscale has made several diplomatic visits to Europe 5 on behalf of his father, rogue trader Caligos Winterscale. The great regent would not have granted entry to someone dishonorable, which means, whatever happened in this terrible, malodorous place, we must aid this man of noble blood. Why would young Winterscale have felt the need to parley with the dissidents? It's a personal matter. Master Castilia, the seditious warden, is Lord Yvain's childhood friend. When my lord heard of the riot, the news saddened him greatly, and so he rushed here without delay, in hopes of bringing his old friend to his senses, no doubt. The first Winterscale in my memory who prefers to talk first rather than shoot and slash. Young Lord Winterscale is not his father's shadow. If he is determined to save his friend, he won't back down. I pray to the throne that he is alive and well. He's been gone for such a long time, and I really don't like this place. Cassia froze in confusion. Theobald executed his wife and only son on the mere suspicion of treason against House of Stelio. So why did the noble Yvain rush to save someone who had betrayed his house? Do bonds of friendship give one the right to make inexcusable mistakes? Wow. Is there anything else I should be apprised of before I set out? Some of the rebels have holed up in the barracks. I don't know how many, but given this is the only way through to where the negotiations are taking place, I would expect heavy resistance. Please take caution. Your Lordship, Lord Winterscale's guards mined the entrance so that the rebels couldn't get to the shuttle. The warden himself is spearheading the riot? Yes. No one expected this. Master Castilia is a nobleman from a respected governor house and a vassal to House Winterscale. All of a sudden he proclaimed that Rykadi Philia was now his personal domain, that the prisoners were his subjects, and that he would never bow to anyone again. It is pure heresy. And I take it they're looking forward to a diet of sand and gravel. What kind of madman would start a revolt on a barren rock? I am looking for a man by the name of Heinrich von Galaxy. He is here, perhaps? Unless it's one of the prisoners or guards, then it seems unlikely. There are no shuttles in working order, other than yours and mine. There is nothing else anyone could have used to reach this place. Tell me about this planetoid. The only settlement on Rykadi Philia is a penal colony. The prisoners work in the mines and the domed quarries. They mine sulfur, serum dust, and sand, which is then melted down, a rather nondescript place, or so it was prior to current events. I have no more questions. You may excuse yourself. The woman freezes for a moment before asking hesitantly, Your Lordship, if I may have a minute of your time, I wouldn't have there to trouble you with a personal matter, but the situation. In any case, have you been to the capital of Rykadi Minoris yet? I wanted to ask if you saw a man there, a communication officer by the name of Jaspar. What is your relationship to this man? We are engaged, your lordship, she declared somewhat bashfully. I have not yet been to Rykadi Minoris and know nothing of this officer's fate. That's a shame. May the Emperor keep that fool from harm. Thank you for your time, your lordship. She bows. You can tell by the desperation in her eyes that she is exhausted, frightened, and wishes to be off this planet as soon as possible. Alright. We have a trap to
Never
disarm.
judge me.
Onward to victory.
This guard post has been vacant for a long time. There is a layer of dust on every surface. To the barracks.
Keep your senses keen.
Okay.
Idira, is there something you wish to tell me about? Namely, the mess in the wardroom last week.
Ugh, stop blaming me every time one of the officers flies off. And not every brawl or disaster on this ship is because of me.
Blessed be the road that we take. I better myself through my service. The Emperor favors me today.
We got this.
Let's see this through.
Okay.
Another battle demands our
You
attention.
have been ambushed. Oh my god, that's not good. The grenadier moves first. That's bad. I can't do anything.
Death to the weak!
Yeah. Throw your bomb. Okay.
She did always want to be a martyr.
Nice.
Just a minor setback.
Perfect. I'll be dead before even
Chaos
being able
guides
to
me.
act.
Brace yourself, Abelard. I've suffered worse.
Bring ruin.
I'm going to
an
kill
unbeliever.
everyone. Every one of you. Idira, okay. Okay, let's...
On it.
26, that's good. That's all I do with you.
Let's set this in motion. Easy. I said, so done. Done.
All right.
I know what to do.
use voice of command. I'm moving
Step
here.
aside. The navigator is coming.
Okay, that's not good. Oh, come on. What the hell? Okay.
I have
That's
read
better.
tomes of military tactics. Me? If you insist, Lord Captain.
You need to die,
Let's set
dude.
this in motion. That's how it's done. Easy.
Okay. You are stunned. You are stunned.
I serve the ruinous powers.
Yeah. Okay.
Careful now.
Nice. Okay, I can't move. Okay. Great.
Out of my way!
Perfect. Okay, Dira. Same as before.
But of course.
Don't summon any demonettes, please. Perfect. That's all. Now you. What if I move here? Yeah. That's it.
I know what to do. As said, so done.
Oh my god. This is incredibly good. Okay, I'm going to
Let's set this in
move
motion.
here.
With purpose.
Okay, shut this guy down. Oh, this guy has a lot more
They won't expect this.
HP. Yeah, but he's stunned. Perfect.
If I may?
All right.
I've seen worse battles than this in my time. Indeed.
Nice.
Forge ahead. Never linger.
I need to return to... Yeah, I need to return to the ship. this.
Marching ahead.
That was very weird. Acting last in a turn is almost a death sentence for the entire party. In this case, I got lucky. That and my main character is pretty good. I did not expect that when it comes to dealing damage. Okay.
Let's seize the moment.
If I could see the golden light of the Astronomicon as you see it, Cassia, I would probably go still forever, unable to take my eyes off the radiance of the Emperor for an instant.
I think you would manage. You have different hues of light within you. Gold, silver, and crimson. One of them would call you back to this world.
The symbol before you bears a familiar scent, that of the dark forces of chaos.
Stay sharp.
Never doubt me.
Nice. What do we have here? Oh! Another ambush. My brethren, the dawn is nigh. The optimates will guide us into a new existence. Yes, yes, dear brethren, have a taste of my steel. Oh, how I've longed for this, my dear brethren. Oh! The ambushers got ambushed. Thank the throne, normal looking faces. We thought we are going to die here with these nutters. The old man with a gap-toothed smile drops his weapon and holds out his hands in a placating gesture. Please don't shoot us, your nobleness. Let us speak a word. Well, this is a welcome change, talking before shooting. Still, Lord Captain, the look of this ragtag bunch hardly inspires trust. Give me a reason not to execute you on the spot. Here is the deal. We're honest, quiet inmates. We didn't want to riot, but, well, sitting it out wasn't really an option either. The warden's lapdogs made short work of those who refused to join in the festivities. So we had to, play along, but that's all it was, play. We never meant to offense to Governor Medina, nor to the lawful authority of House Winterscale. Give us a chance. We just want to wait until everything blows over and we can go back to our cells and quietly do the rest of our time. A repentant, honest heretic? How noble! Judging by Abelard's tone, the seneschal is utterly unimpressed by the old man's ingratiating monologue. The low-born speech is mottled with colors that conceal his true, darker hues. This old man has a long history of lies, and he is using his wiles on us as well. But I see no foul corruption or ill intent in his words. Tell me more about the warden and the riot. Pa, why soil your tongue talking about that heretic? But if you insist, here is how it is. The warden of this here prison, the Honorable Master Castilla, was a crackpot from the start. The previous warden ran things the proper way. Prayer, 1 meal a day, work, a punch in the choppers from the guards, work again. But the new one, do you know what his first decree was? He introduced lunches and dinners. By the Nine Devils, there's 3 meals a day. The man was obviously stark raving mad. Things only went downhill from there. The guards quit it with the teeth punching. The warden forbade them. Instead, the overseers started counting which prisoners were digging up more things in the quarry or swinging their pickaxes harder and or whatnot. And then, would you believe it, they put together a list of best workers. And if someone on that list also showed good behavior, that's when they get promoted to an optimate. That's the upper crust among us jailbirds. Or that's how it was at first. Then the warden decided it's the optimates, not the guards, who should be in charge of punishments, and that it wasn't the overseer's job to watch the prisoners work, it was the optimates. Well, let me tell you, that's when these goody two-shoes really started to shine. The guards aren't even in the same league as our dear fellows, the optimates. In the old days we had maybe 5 or 10 thieves kicking it a week, and now, well, now we were lucky if it was only 50. And that was even the end of it. Warden Castilla moved out of his chambers to live right in the quarry under the dome. And I think something in his new home really scrambled his brain. He began spouting the wildest things like, the optimates are saints who will behold the truth, and he started taking them to the quarry. Not all of them returned. The ones who did, you wouldn't recognize them. More beasts than men. They were butchering people left and right, even guards and overseers. The warden himself had armed them. And that's the whole sob story, but I knew it from the moment he let us have dinners. Oh, this won't end well. Idira nods knowingly. The old culture's right. Whenever nobles start giving handouts to commoners, something always goes wrong. She notices your look and catches herself. I mean that with all due respect, your lordship, no offense intended. If I spare you, what do I gain from it? Now, how can lowly jailbirds hope to thank your noble self? Ah, I have an inkling. You see, us here, we're, how should I put this, different from the rest of the prisoners in this place. They're all petty thieves, from Rykadi minorities, debtors, gutter snipes. They're no, they're no one serious. Now we, your nobleness, are cut from a different cloth altogether. We're fortune seekers from the void. Why don't we tell you we're on Footfall Station? You know Footfall, the only shipyard and the best market in all the Koronus Expanse? Yes, so, we're on Footfall, you can find some very serious, business-minded people, and how you can get yourself a very special discount from them on some very special goods. What kind of very serious people? The most serious kind, your nobleness. Have you heard about the Fellowship of the Void? It's the largest pirate alliance in the Expanse. There is no leader, of course, but there are some terribly serious captains who decided that cutting each other's throats over loot was, what do you call it, counterproductive. But cutting throats together, now that's anti-counterproductive. And well, their joint efforts leave them with an excess of spoil, so they need to dispose of it somehow, and I, your nobleness, just happen to know someone who handles such kinds of dealings on behalf of those very serious people. Very well, I shall spare you. Oh, that's so great to hear, your nobleness. Just great. Now, there's a true aristocrat, not that warden creep. Now then, your nobleness, where was I? If you ever on Football Station, there's this district there, the Shadow Quarters. It's called that because it's located behind the statue of our holiest emperor. I've known folks who called it something else, also on account of it being behind the statue. Don't repeat their mistakes, I tell you. Reverend Hieronymus wasted no time finding and burning them all. Forgive an old man for getting distracted. So, Football, the Shadow Quarters, there's a bar there, built into the remains of an old ship, and in that bar, in the back room, a certain Ryza does her business. Tell her grandpa Backwater says hello. You'll be her favorite client in the blink of an eye. There we are. Well, your nobleness will be going now if you don't mind. I shall not leave you here to die at the hands of the warden's henchmen. Go tell my pilot that it is the Lord Captain's order that you be sent to my ship. You will join my ship's crew. You have my personal pardon as a rogue trader. Thanks, we are most grateful, your nobleness. The old man glances at you somewhat skeptically, but then smiles and leaves. Alright, we got three more iconoclast points. Above the thundering guns. The rogue trader and two random allies start combat with temporary wounds equal to their own resolve. Oh, nice. What's my resolve? Oh, just 3. That's not much. 4. Okay. So it's just me that has special abilities at each rank. Oh, I don't have any meta charges. That's not good. I hate that.
Duty prevails.
Oh, nice.
Onward to victory.
We level up. Perfect. Okay, let's start with my main character, which is now level 8. No, level 7. Let's go with perception and lawful intervention. The arbitrator can parry incoming attacks with a ranged weapon. To calculate the parry chance, that deters ballistic skill is used instead of weapon skill. Yes, that makes sense. The arbitrator can make up attacks of opportunity with a ranged weapon that they can use in melee range. Oh my god, that's very good. Very, very good. Alright. Abelard. You get weapon skill and fleet combat training. When the Navy officer scores a critical hit or successfully parries an attack with their primary melee weapon, they immediately make an attack, whichever costs the least AP, with their secondary weapon against the same enemy. Oh, nice. So now the revolver that I found is really useful. Idira is getting pyromancy. Yeah, a pyromancer is a master of flame, a psyker who is able to create searing infernos out of thin air. Pyromancy is one of the most spectacular and destructive forms of psychic ability, and those who face a pyromancer in combat are often reduced to naught but a pile of charred bones. Let's go with Medicae. Argenta is getting agility and one of the most powerful abilities, Retinue of Hatred. Whenever the Ministorum priest uses War Hymn or Furious Recital for 1 round, the priests themselves and their allies in a 5-cell radius deal Number of zeal stacks. More weapon damage. This bonus is doubled against demon strikers and xenos. Lastly, Cassia is getting reveal the light or more temporary HP. And Eyes of Oblivion. Every enemy the navigator has in their line of sight has its dodge and hit chance reduced by 5. Every bit counts, especially on an air.
Venture forth.
The Emperor favors me today.
Forge ahead.
Let us see
Never
what
linger.
I found.
Marching ahead.
I failed. Never doubt me.
Who thought that was a good idea?
Stay sharp.
I told you, Evie, they are hiding so much from us. Arrogant mentors, holy brothers and sisters. What have they ever given us? Nothing but a pile of fibs and useless admonitions. The voice of the man standing with his back to you sounds almost soft, heedless of everything but what is in front of him. He leans over a prisoner dressed in expensive clothing. But Aurora, she is different. She spoke with me like no one ever had before. She revealed the truth to me. And now, I can reveal it to you if you just stop struggling for 1 minute. What? The man finally realizes he is not alone and turns to you. He is clutching a long, thin metallic rod with blood dripping off it. We have guests from the Bombalancier's ship. I would wager, Evie, my dear, you will have to wait. Do not faint, I beg of you. It's important that you feel everything, including your other eye. The warden's words are suddenly drowned out by a chorus of voices in your head. The entity that still dwells in the recess of your mind rejoices in a cacophony of cries. This place, it holds great significance for the entity. In the frantic chanting of the voices, you can almost make out words that speak of an ancient grave, one that was opened, for it contained a priceless treasure, a most coveted prize that was retrieved by the faithful after a centuries-long search. Such dreadful shades, Cassia recoils and covers her mouth. The colors of this place, they are putrescent to the core. And these people, their colors are oozing with madness and despair, pain and doom. That pit, there is something special about it. Is there not an item of value was once buried there? Now tell me, Warden, what was the item and who took it from here? The warden's gaze bores into you, then he smiles with the corners of his lips. You are too late, enemy of the truth. This bastion has already fulfilled its great purpose. You'll never find a trail of the reclaimed relic that now rests in the hands of the devout. Why do you mutilate these people? These are my optimates, saints, who will guide the flock at the fated hour. Listen. Can you hear? You can't. They are crying out, calling. It's just that their cries are not meant for our ears. They cast their voices out there, beyond the edge of the glass, into the transparent quiet. There, they are heard. There, their call is answered. You know, we had this guy once. He was a quiet one. One day, he walked into a middle deck part, flew one back, and then pulled out a gun and started shooting people left and right without saying a word. Then he shoved a barrel in his mouth and blew his brains out. Our warden here has exactly the same look in his eyes right now. Who is Aurora? Oh, so you managed to barge in here and interfere with the prophetess design without even knowing who she is. But it is too late now. You will never attain sight. All you can do is accept your fate. He suddenly stirs like a predatory beast. I do not like it when people take the prophetess Aurora's name in vain. I desire your death, enemy of the truth. The warden raises his hand, and the maimed people start thrashing about in their death throes. The time for words has passed. Optimates, give your power to this harbinger of Aurora. Let our foes see the truth or become awash in blood.
Challenging me was a mistake.
Your emperor
Okay,
won't save you.
you, then you, then you. Then Idira, then Warden Castilia, who has 100 HP. Nice. Then, oh, we have a sniper here. That's bad. Then you got... I'm the last again. God damn it. Okay, so... Avalat is going to stay here. We don't even know what to put him. I'm going to put him here. I'm going to move here. Argenta. Argenta needs line of sight to kill this sniper. I'm going to put a... no, not Argenta. Idira. And Cassia is going to be here. I'm going to put her here. No. I mean, Cassia is almost the last. Let's go.
Serve the ruinous powers!
Okay.
Such is the will of chaos.
I defy
Oh
you.
my god.
Chaos guides me.
What the hell, dude?
Pain and duty go hand
You
in hand.
almost killed my main character. I'm going to move here.
What is this foreboding?
I'm going to heal
This will
you.
help.
I will find a way to repay you.
Let me check. Do I have a line of sight? Oh, I can use this. I can. Nice. Perfect.
Will do.
Out of my way!
Oh
Brace
my
yourself,
God.
Avalanche.
Injured. I'm enraged.
Sure, why not?
And purify.
Okay, and
I'll do it.
I need to destroy this thing. Okay. Sorry about that.
Death to the weak! Ah!
Okay. Cassia.
I am a navigator, not a servitor. Emperor, give me strength.
Okay. All right. I can easily kill these guys. Maybe I can push this guy back so I can move.
Costly mistake. Easy. I know what to do.
I'm going to stay here. Can't move.
Let's set this in motion.
Oh, nice. Very, very nice. Okay, now let's heal.
The healing is much appreciated. I will do my duty.
And I'm going to move in front of you.
It will be done.
Oh,
An
God.
exemplary strike. Victory is imminent.
Okay. You're done. Oh my God.
Chaos guides me!
The witch has fallen. Leave her to rot.
Here we
The
go!
hell, dude?
Death to non-believers!
You should
Just a
die.
minor
See
setback.
my great words, masters!
Alright. I have to kill
Faith
this.
without deeds is worthless.
What? Mist? What the hell?
Me? If you insist, Lord Captain. Isn't this a job for the servants?
Okay.
If I may.
Okay, I need to destroy this stone.
Indeed. At your beck and call.
Sorry about that.
This is just
Out of my way!
me.
Pain and duty go hand in hand.
Okay. Okay, that guy is dead. Now I need to destroy this thing.
I'll do it. Doubt is for the...
Perfect. And I need to destroy this thing too. Now Cassia.
I'm afraid not.
Oh, sorry. Okay. Not sure what I can do. She'll probably go down. Desperate measures. The officer grants an ally an extra turn with full AP. During this turn, there is no attack limit. There
I'll
you go.
paint your death in colors.
As said, so done.
That's exactly what I'm going to do.
That's how it's done.
Yep.
Easy.
Perfect.
I know what to do.
Perfect. Nice. Okay. I think that was it. I think I'm going to...
Me? If you insist, Lord Captain.
Target well struck.
Oh, nice.
It will be done.
Be careful not to cross my gaze.
Here. And that's it. I think you already have voice of command. Now you are going to move here and destroy this guy.
Let's set this in motion.
Destroy this guy.
I know what to do.
Nice. Whew.
Easy.
Victory is imminent.
Oh,
It will be done.
oh,
Brace yourself,
okay.
Avalon.
The enemies of the Emperor will be undone! You Emperor!
That's okay. Not going to use rapid fire. I might hit Abalot. Okay, what about you?
Battlefields are always drowned in scarlet.
Okay.
I am a navigator, not a servitor.
Indeed.
Oh my god.
I will
You're
do my
missing
duty.
all your hits.
Forward.
Okay. That's more like it.
At your beck and call.
Oh, you missed your counter.
I will bathe this battlefield in righteous fury!
Nice. Nice. Okay. I don't believe we've been properly introduced. Blood is bubbling on the young man's lips, and his voice is barely audible, but even now it remains melodious and quite courteous. Evane with the scale of Koronus. Greatly pleased to make your acquaintance. On the rare days that Lord Winterscale visited Europe 5, the station was awash in a mist of warm hues. We were forbidden from meeting each other, but I was delighted still to see such rare colors in my home. Now, however, his colors are darkening, twisting from pain and bitterness. We must help, Lord Captain. We must save the clarity of his soul, for he whose presence makes the world a little brighter deserves no less. Lady Cassia, I presume, the secret child of House of Cilio. How disgraceful it is that on the day we finally meet, I find myself not at my best. There is no disgrace in your predicament, Lord Winterscale. The Lord Captain and I met under similarly dreadful and tragic circumstances. What have they done to you? And the warden, my friend. I tried to convince him to stop the riot. Diplomacy failed. Speaking is a struggle, but he continues stubbornly. Father hates diplomacy, which is why I had to try. Conserve your strength. You are wounded and need help. Wounded? I would have phrased it altogether differently. Tortured and maimed. Perhaps. Have you ever had your eyes burned out? This was my first time. I cannot say I recommend the procedure. He is either trying to make light of the situation or growing delirious from the pain. I must take my leave. I will see to it that assistance is provided to you and that you are escorted from here. He nods, giving it to oblivion. Profit factor. Alright. Let's loot. Ooh, noble sword. Apparently this is better. On a hit, this sword's attack inflicts the disturbed effect on the target for 2 rounds. If the target of the attack is already suffering from the disturbed, the attack deals an additional 6 damage. Yeah. Precise pistol. Okay. Examine. Okay. Your eye is drawn to the shards of the enormous land scattered around the broken device. At first you are uncertain as to what troubles you, but suddenly the realization hits you. The glass shimmers in a unique way, just the same way as the shards of the unknown broken object you found near Theodora von Valancia's desk. What's the matter, Lord Captain? Why are you so interested in... By the Imperium saints, it cannot be. I see it too. Whatever that thing in her study was, it was made from the same material as this junk. What? What? Abelard is at a loss for words. He takes a moment to collect himself, and all at once they start pouring out in a hasty sputter. It's a mistake. Slander meant to blemish the good name of a person who is now dead and cannot even defend herself. First, those minions of the archenemy murdered Lord Captain Theodora. Now, this cannot be tolerated. It will not be tolerated. Come on now, Abelard, remember what she was like. Idira's smile betrays her grief, but at the same time is strangely knowing. Brazen, assertive, it was like her entire life was a race against fate until fate caught up with her. In the end, she would have gone headfirst into a black hole if she had thought it would put her even one step ahead of everyone else out in the expanse. If you could just find out what she was keeping in her desk and why she went to get it during the attack. Sister Argenta's beautiful face is full of grief. How bitter it is to know that you were born from bad blood, but do not let this knowledge drag you into darkness. Perception can succeed. The sister's words ring with a genuine, sincere hope that you be blessed with a worthier fate. She does not appear to be shocked by the news of Theodora's possible heresy. Life must be so easy for you sanctimonious preachers. A dubious trinket and you no longer see a person, you see bad blood, an annoying hindrance. There is enough venom in Idira's voice to poison an entire regiment. Argenta recoils, but the next moment her dark eyes ignite with fury. How dare you admonish me? We are speaking of abetting the archenemy. A person who has tainted themselves thus can never justify their actions. Sure, why go through all the trouble of trying to make sense of anything when you can just label them a heretic and call it a day? Except, dear friend, I seem to remember that you didn't mind Theodora so much while you were aboard the ship. You didn't leave her side for even a moment. She rescued you, aided you, and your adoration wilted the moment you heard an accusation sullying her memory. You weren't surprised or upset, you just gave up on her and moved on. Idira is right. It is too soon to cast accusations of heresy. Cornelius, don't be naive. Theodora kept an unsanctioned witch by her side like a pet. Do you really believe she would think twice about crossing the line in other ways? Wow, that was interesting. Another stub revolver.
Let's see this through.
Another last gun. And probably another last gun. Yep. What's this?
Onward to victory.
Alright, I think we are done here. Pretty tough battle. Oh, we need just 174 experience points. Your lordship, the rebellion has been crushed. I have news of your lord. He is safe. Is Lord Winterscale alive? Is he alright? He's safe and in one piece. I shall receive him as guest on my ship, so ready the shuttle. There is visible relief on the pilot's face. Clicking her heels together, she cheerfully barks out, "Consider it done, your lordship. Thank you for the good news." Alright, we're going to wrap things up here, and we'll continue in the next episode. Thank you everyone for watching. Take care. Bye bye.